Alright folks, we're working on the epoxy project today, and this is how it came out of the pressure pot. Where has all the epoxy gone? I hear you shouting. Because this was up full over here and it had all around the sides and everything. And I think we've found that if you put 85 psi in the resin and the wood, that the resin goes into the wood, which is interesting, but it does leave us with design issues, because now there's not enough resin in these holes to do what I was going to do and have this as the top surface. So this is now, because I haven't got any more resin, this is now going to have to become the base of whatever we make. So I'm not entirely sure what to make with it. I'm sure we'll make something, but because we now need to turn it round, I need to fix this end of it in the chuck like that. Now in order to do that, because I don't have enough surface to use a woodworm screw, or I can't cut a mortise, I'm going to have to glue a piece of plywood onto it, and I'm going to drill my mortise in here and fix it into the chuck that way. So let's do that.
Alrighty folks, welcome back to the narration part of the video. And yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? 1.2 litres of resin, something around that margin, disappeared into that blank. I wasn't expecting that when I tipped it out of the bucket, I will be honest. But I think we'll just about cope with it. So we've got it mounted up on the glue block, and we're using the tailstock today because why not? It's now centered, so we may as well use it. And yes, that piece of wood was extremely hard. It went from being a soft piece of sycamore into the hardest piece of wood. Really hard piece of wood, let's put it that way. And the only thing that would touch it was the carbide, and even that was struggling. So it was quite a laborious turning, I'll be honest with you. So we're going for some kind of pedestal bowl. My choices of design were quite limited by the fact that all the resin had disappeared. So it's not as wide as I wanted, and it's longer than I wanted. But never mind. We'll see what we can do. So I've cut my neck portion, and I've just put some scallops in the top. I didn't want to take too much away and have that design showing on the outside, because I wasn't sure of the integrity of the resin inside at this point. So you might remember from part 1 of this video that the epoxy I used was glow-in-the-dark epoxy. Well, glow-in-the-dark powder mixed into standard epoxy, let's put it that way. And a lot of the powder was sort of stuck on the surface. Obviously the grains of powder were too big to go into the pores of the wood. It did go in places, and it filled all the cracks, so the resin did what it was supposed to do. So here I am just flattening off the base with the carbide, and we're going to put a mortise in the bottom. And there we go. Now this was quite a tricky piece to sand, so I did most, if not the vast majority of the sanding by hand, all the way to 600 grit, and then plenty of sanding paste and some shine juice. And then I couldn't take the plywood off the top very easily, so we had to turn through it. And I seem to have got a bit of shine juice or something on my camera lens, so apologies for that. I didn't notice that when I was filming. So you could see there that the epoxy is not all the way down into those holes. Yes. So I just drilled out the centre there to get down to a nice level for the carbide. Plywood is extremely tough stuff to cut through. That took a long time, but I haven't made you watch all of that, which is good. So my idea with the hollowing was just to get down to the bottom of that hole in the centre, which is where the epoxy is, and then make the bowl back from that shape and not go any deeper, because obviously the deeper I go, the more of that pattern I lose. So I was able to use the gouge here, but only in the middle, and it was just blunting the edge. So we went back to the carbide again. I tell you what, I used to think that carbide was a big chisel, but it feels tiny in my hands now after using that enormous 34-inch gouge for so long. So I may have to rehandle or completely redesign or make a new carbide. So that'll be on the cards. That one was supposed to be able to change the heads on it, but I didn't design it properly, so it only really fits the round cutter. So yes, stay tuned for that one. We'll be making a completely new carbide tool. Okay, so I got down to final depth, and then we sanded the inside of the bowl up to 600 grit. And an obscene amount of sanding paste and shine juice. Yeah, sorry about that blob on the screen. I'll rectify that for the next video. And there we go. They almost look like Wi-Fi symbols, don't they? It's the Wi-Fi goblet. Stroke pedestal bowl. Why not? So yes, interesting shape. Not what I set out to make, but I'm kind of thinking you could put it by your door, put your keys in it, and then if you have a power cut, you'll be able to see where your keys are, because it'll all glow in the dark. That's what I'm saying about this bowl. But it was a bit of fun to make it, and I hope you've all enjoyed the video. And we've got an interesting project coming up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one. I won't spoil it for you now, but here come the glow-in-the-dark shots. Yeah, I was pretty pleased with how that turned out. I would have liked to have had the full pattern, but we can't predict these things, can we, sometimes? So, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers, folks.